not talking about
So
the
me,
fact.
I'm. Let me speak on this, okay? I'm very specific, and feel free to call it generalization, okay? Because I've seen enough cases that this is an epidemic. It's a common sense driven strategy. It's a terrible strategy. It's a strategy used by people that don't know what they're doing when it comes to marriage, and it doesn't work. And you will lose your wife. I know you don't care. You will lose your family. I know you care about that part. Potentially, you will lose your children, and you come back 30 years from now, and you cry wolf. And yes, I am speaking to men in this respect. Okay, I will speak to women in a second here. I'm speaking to men in this respect right now. If your strategy of communication is to shut down, that is not something you're doing intentionally. It's a part of your personality. It's a part of who you are. It's something you learned. It's a toxic strategy that you learned, and it doesn't work. Eventually, something will give. If we're talking about 2024 and beyond, because people have options. When it gets down to survival, people will throw their morals out the window and will exercise those options. They will also be wrong. That doesn't exonerate them from being wrong. But I promise you, your family will be destroyed and you will hate yourself the day you come into the apartment and it's dry and nobody is there. It's easy for you to come in, you go into your man cave, it's funky, you go and hide in your corner because you know that person is still on the other side of the house. The day you come into that house and it's quiet, you're going to hate yourself. You're going to feel like a failure when that happens. Okay? Why am I saying that? I'm not predicting it's happening as we speak because I have a ton of cases like that. I'm telling you right now. Okay? It's a terrible strategy. Two wrongs don't make it right. If your wife is being disrespectful, there are healthy ways to address that issue. I promise you the healthy way I'm going to give you as a man is always going to come from the standpoint that you are the king. You are the leader. In other words, I will not be accepting that you want to match yourself along with a woman. I will remind you as much as possible that you are the king. So the strategy you have to use has to involve that you are a king in your own household. A king will not shut down on the people that are following him. It just doesn't work that way. The worst he's going to do is tell the person to pack their leg. If that person is that disrespectful, say, you need to leave my house. They will leave the relationship, whatever that means. But not leaving the relationship or leaving half-ass, and you're walking into the house back and forth. I understand it's a coping mechanism. I understand it's what you might have concluded in your mind is a reverse psychology type of thing. That's any kind of reverse psychology tactic or strategy that does not involve actively seducing and attracting your wife. It's, again, all of us have done this in one respect or the other. We use, like the part where we use strategies that doesn't work, right? It's a terrible strategy. It's going to destroy you more than help you with anything. So it's very, very important. Now, women some women do cease sex from their spouse, right? They withhold sex from their spouse. The reason why I don't like addressing that from that standpoint is because we're talking about sex. A person that wants to have sex with you will not be withholding sex from you. But fair enough. You might say a person who wants to talk to you will not be withholding communication from you. But maybe we should now lump all of them into a box together now, right? If you're in a relationship, particularly a relationship that's supposed to be holding a marriage together, and you're using manipulative, this is manipulation. It's called manipulation because it does not involve value for the other side. It involves actively trying to control the other person to do what you want. And that's it, full stop. And that's all you want and full stop. Once you get that, you're happy. Unfortunately, you might be happy, it's temporary. That person has resentment inside of them. And they might not intentionally do it. They're going to get their own pound of flesh. You will pay dearly for that. You will pay a hefty price for it. Guaranteed. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. So I just wanted to leave that out there. As far as Yvonne Jegede is concerned, she's telling a story. This side of the story where she just told just now. Hold on one second.
MOP, I'm sorry, you've not spoken about women's side, though. I just want to point it out. That's what I was waiting for. You go on men now. You say men, you will suffer, your home will break everybody. You've not spoken about women, though.
Wait now. Yvonne Jegede, what she just told us, right? What she just described, it's an epidemic. We have to believe what she said. It's happening everywhere. So it's happening. So we have to address it in that way. The other side of the story, when we get it, we'll address it. And when the man comes up and come and tell her that woman was disrespectful to me, so I shut down on her, guess what I'm going to tell him? Your guess is as good as mine. You shut down on your wife because, well, I understand it, but there are better ways to communicate. There are better ways to get the results you're looking for as a man, as a king in your own household. Yes, especially when you're broke and she's the one paying for everything, your emotional intelligence needs to be very sharp, because your emotions will test you, will make you question everything. Is she saying that because she's the one bringing in the money? Is she saying that to me? You will forget completely that this is how you bantered. That's what she described. Okay? Now, women who are disrespectful to their husband, the answer is very simple. Don't be disrespectful to your husband. What do you want me to say? I don't have any stories around that. Don't be disrespectful to your husband. I have a whole video on that. I think I recorded a video on that where I addressed the respect thing. At every point I made sure I spoke to the ladies at every point with regards to respect. Did you see that video? When I was addressing the doctor.
You only mentioned ladies twice. I listened to everything.
That's not true. That means you didn't listen. I mentioned ladies for every point. All 5 points. Ladies were spoken to at the end of each one of those 5 points. So maybe you should go and listen again. So again, when it comes to disrespect, this idea of addressing ladies with disrespect. Hold on.
Honestly, I'll let you finish. Disrespect to. This topic is not about disrespect to MOP. This is not about disrespect. Disrespect is a different thing entirely. Communication breakdown is not a sign that your wife is disrespecting you. From my own point of view.
I'm listening.
You are having, a husband and wife is having an argument over, it could be money, it could be any other family issues. The wife wants it some way, the husband wants it that way. Because the husband wants it certain way doesn't mean that the husband is right. And because the wife wants it certain way doesn't mean that the wife is right. I'm talking about a situation whereby the wife won't she's not ready to communicate in a way that both of them can resolve the issue amicably and have a definite decision and make a definite decision between both of them.
Uncle Beno,
that doesn't mean that she's disrespecting the man. That is just them having communication breakdown.
It's a disagreement.
That's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from point of respect or disrespect. Now, listen,
I got you.
Entirely.
I hear you.
All right, sir.
Okay, so now you have a communication breakdown. Okay, that's a communication breakdown. You still don't want to. It's still not a solution to shut down on your partner for more than 48 hours at any point in time. Okay, when you're at 72 hours, you're pushing it. Okay, there are ways to address communication breakdown. The specific ways to address those communication breakdown would depend on what we're talking about. It would depend on the specifics of the issues that you're arguing about. Because the reality is that even disrespect, disagreement, emotional abuse, verbal abuse will happen in every marriage. Guarantee, it doesn't mean it's right. It just means most people will experience it first before they fix it. How you address it is really what we're talking about. The strategies around addressing it. It will be based on the specific. One thing we can generalize right now is that the silent treatment is not the way to fix any communication breakdown. We can generalize that. We can tell you what not to do. Specifically, what you need to do would depend on what you're having a conversation around. I can generalize this. I can tell you active listening. Did you take your time? Are you patient with yourself to understand where the other person is coming from? Did you feel the need that today we must have an answer? Are you patient to wait till tomorrow before we have an answer? Right? We can generalize those. We can talk at the surface level like that. We can talk at a very high level like that. But I cannot scold anybody when I don't have the specifics. I can tell you that if you're a disrespectful woman, you go collect. You cannot tell me you did not hear that in that video. Right? Are people walking around deliberately being disrespectful? I don't think so. I think things lead to one thing or the other. We need to know the specifics. Are people walking around just keeping malice with their husband, with their wife? I don't think so either. But I can tell you that keeping malice is an epidemic. You need to engage a wise counsel in order to fix that issue, because what you're doing is you're sowing seeds of resentments that will eat up everything you care about. You might not think you care right now. You might be in that I don't care zone. I promise you, you're going to care when the devil is done destroying everything you've cooked up to that point in time. So I don't know if there's any other specifics I need to speak to. What I was going to speak to the ladies about, if you're a person, not even just ladies, if you're a person, you're dealing with a person who tends to use silent treatments to punish you. That's what is going on. It's a punishment. It's a form of punishment. They don't have to admit that it's punishment. If the idea is to get you to behave a certain type of way, and they're willing to go more than 48 hours, 72 hours, and not revisit and say, let's talk, that person is operating from a place of weakness. And yes, on your end, it's going to feel like wickedness. You need to stop everything you're doing. You need to engage wise counsel if you're the one complaining. You don't have to wait for the other person. If you know you're going through this and you know that this is a problem, that's how you feel, and you know that potentially you're giving excuses for them. If you're going through this, you also have a tendency to give excuses for them. It's not just that's not how they are all the time. They do it only once in a while. How do you feel when you're doing it? Okay, if any part of you feel like this is toxic, then it needs to be addressed. Okay, because like Uncle Beno has been trying to allure to, you might just be the problem. It might be the way you approach matters. Actually, the person who is keeping malice is the problem specific to the keeping malice part, because they don't know what they're doing too. But again, what are the other issues going on in your marriage? Because like I told you, if whatever is going on in your marriage has led to a point where somebody is keeping malice and they're doing silent treatment, it will eat up the marriage. You have two choices: fix the marriage or walk out of the marriage, so that you don't damage yourself or other people for future relationships. Because that's what's going to happen if you don't do something about it right now.
Thank you. I'm about to retire for the day. So we're having this conversation about silent treatment the other day. Some people call it malice. And I was listening to a Man of Prestige today because he actually talked about it. He dealt with that topic before I even got to it. Like, he discussed it extensively. And there's a part of that video that I'm thinking I'm going to ask Ola to please kindly cut it out and just share it, because I would like to post it on my channel because it made too much sense. So the argument was on and on and on about, how some people think that silent treatment, is an effective way of communicating, especially when you have a partner that has coconut head. How many of you agree? Who agrees to that though? I don't know who agrees to that though, because me, I don't understand. Okay, so in Nigeria we call it malice. Yeah, we call it malice. Sister Monsurat, Sheda Daniel, Ekujo Meta, long time no see. It's lovely to see you here. Oh, me too. Instagram. It's nice to see you. Oh. Desi, how are you? How is Houston today? I hope you guys are you missing Jamaica? Oh dear. We are still dealing with jet lag here. So me, I don't want to sleep now. Because if I sleep now, I find myself waking up around 2 a.m. Right. So silent treatment. Let's talk about silent treatment again. Who thinks that silent treatment is an effective way of communicating when you have an assertive coconut head partner, whether male or female? Who thinks that it works? So people were given different interpretation and description. But in Nigeria, silent treatment was not the word we used for it. So context is important for you to understand this. We just called it malice in Nigeria, right? We call it malice. I wish this was interactive. I wish anybody who wants to join should join. I want to have a conversation. I think it will be better if it's interactive. Yeah? So we can have a conversation. Let me see if Man of Prestige is available. I doubt it. Ola, one thing. Ola is out there making money. There's no excuse for that behavior. Yeah? Okpeke yeah. I'm trying to read the comments, but this IG is funny. Somebody said, communicate to me. People who keep malice are terrible at communication and taking accountability. Agreed. And B. Bami said, silent treatment is the least effective way of communicating. Yeah. So one of our brothers was making a case that when you have a very stubborn partner who doesn't listen and they always hold their ground, and say, it's my way or the highway. Yeah. Like they will not agree with anything that you're saying. That the only way that perhaps you can get them to come to the table to have that conversation is by giving them silent treatment or switching off. That's actually the word. Some people have PhD in switching off or giving silent treatment or malice, whatever you want to call it. But I'm very, very concerned about that silent treatment because it is very, very counterproductive. Yeah. Some people like it to keep malice or to keep silent treatment, but for some other people, if the other person cannot take it, then it's a big problem. It's a really big issue. Let me call it like Ola. It will be a big issue. Not baby. Are you available? Oh, yeah, come. Let's have a conversation. It will be better. Let's just gist. Let's gist about this. I hope you're not at work.
I'm at home. I'm working from home.
Okay. How are you, love? You okay?
I'm good. How are you? Yeah.
I miss you.
I miss you too. We had a good time.
We
had a
did.
good time.
We did.
I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. So I was listening. I don't know. Did you get a chance to listen to watch the show that Ola did? And Chinye, was it Chinye or Chinyere?
Is it Chidima?
Was it Chidima? No, it's not Chidima. It's Chinye.
Chinye. Okay.
Chinye and Braben.
No, it was Chidima, Braben.
Was it Chidima? Braben. I can't remember whether it's Chidima. Was it Chidima?
It was Chidima, Braben.
Yeah. I was listening to it today. I had a chance to listen to it today, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was really, really shocked. Yeah. I think there's a lot of learning in that because
there is. And what's sad is that a lot of people are living that lifestyle. That's some people's reality.
Right.
Do you understand? And like you said, if you decide to go on the silent treatment thing, if the other person cannot read that, that's like a total waste of time for both of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you said, it's not everybody that can take it, honestly speaking. So I think, like you said, some people use that to cover up because they can't communicate effectively. So they just choose that to hide and like, oh, I don't want to do confrontation, blah, blah, blah. But then they take malice and retrieve to their shell. But then what does retrieving to your shell say? Does it pass any message?
Yeah.
Just like you're sick and not going to the hospital, what does it solve? Nothing.
Nothing.
It makes it even worse.
The issue is going to fester.
Exactly. So for me, like, it cannot be effective. In any way, it's not effective. Yeah. Even as a kid, if your child does something, you want to correct the child, and you decide to just keep malice with the child, not saying anything, be giving them attitude, your child will be confused. What did I do? What did I do? Mommy is not talking to me. Mommy is not saying anything. But you didn't express to the child what they did, so they don't even know what to correct. And I think another thing that we have, people just have problem giving other people grace. They want that grace to be extended to them, but them like reciprocating that grace is a problem to them.
Yeah, because I mean, for the person that is keeping malice or giving the silent treatment, they can argue that, oh, I've done everything else, I've tried everything, it didn't work. This is the only way I can get the other person's attention.
Or they will say, I don't like confrontation. That's what they
say. This is the only way I can get them to come and discuss this matter, to come sit on the table and talk about it. But like, I wish Ola was available. Like what he said in that video, he said that it is not you that will determine whether it's emotional abuse or not. It's the person that is receiving it.
Benny. That's true.
It's how it makes the other person feels.
That's true.
Especially when you weaponize it in a way that you are doing it deliberately to get somebody to behave in a way that you want them to behave.
That's also you're just manipulating the person.
Yeah. I mean, it's a terrible thing, to be honest. I don't know. Some people, it's even worse when you have two people, a couple, both of them know how to keep malice.
Coconut head WhatsApp group.
Both of them know how to do it. Hey.
It's worse.
So you have to carry face every day.
Benny. Yeah, it's sad. And if you go to Dr. Shola's page, you'll be seeing like that's some people's reality. I'm telling you. And like the inability, like these conversations, we need to be having them regularly.
Yes.
So yeah, it's gonna help people to like unlearn and relearn because you will see the need for people. Even people that are donkey years into marriages are still going through the same thing.
Can you see what the comment I'm saying for Beke Lomo said? I was with someone who gave me silent treatment for 3 years straight up. I left when he started silent treatment on the 2nd year old. It was traumatic. So, yeah. You see, silent treatment, especially for people who live in the abroad, live in the diaspora, is worse. Because here, we really don't have people to talk to.
Now, loneliness won't kill us.
Loneliness won't finish us. Normally. Like Nigerians would say, normally we are lonely. Normally we are lonely.
You now come and join with that one.
Yeah. And then you come and now add silent treatment to it.
And now extend to
it's not going to be easy.
Like Yvonne Jagede was saying that time, she said, like if you're doing it with me, it's different. But hold on a second. Is it just my network?
No,
it has to be network.
Yeah, I'm here. No, sorry. A call was coming in.
Oh, so like Yvonne Jagede was saying that time, she was like, if you're doing it with me, it's different. But like your wife is pregnant. She went out with that child. Like, you understand? Like her well-being should be your priority. But you don't even care to like ask your wife, where you carry my pikin go? You just ignore. So the thing has moved from the wife and you've extended it to the child. That's a terrible thing.
Yeah. So there was something that Braben said when Ola was trying to put it into perspective. I really like that show. I think it was quite. I will encourage everybody to go and watch it. It was quite educative.
Yeah.
And you see, when we talk about these issues, unfortunately, it always comes down to gender. People will be saying, what about women? What about men?
What about you? According
What
to
about
Chidinma.
women? What about men?
Whataboutism.
And then Ola said something. They said, when we can't play this gender game.
No.
You know why? Because there's an order. There's an order to these things. Just like Pastor Shola always said, when a country is not working, who is everybody in Nigeria calling now?
The president.
Exactly.
The
Everybody's calling the president. Is it the only one man? A country of over 200 million people. Everybody's calling Tinubu. Tinubu. Everybody's calling him. Like, is it possible for only one person to solve the problem of over 200 million? But they have to call him. Do you know why? Because he's the head. Yes. He's the president. He's the leader. And I think we need to start educating, men who are married men, brothers who are married, to understand. You can't keep dragging this thing with women. Okay, what about women?
No. It's not a competition. It's not a competition.
Man, you are the king. You are the leader. And with leadership, there's a lot of expectations.
Look at what somebody said. She said silent treatment can cause... Oh, shush.
Yeah, I've seen it. Silent treatment in your body
can cause bad chemical in your body.
Which can result to cancer.
Yeah.
Lobaton.
Yes. I've heard that before.
That.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Oh my God.
From a medical personnel. I've heard that.
Let me pin this. I'm going to pin it. Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yes, I've heard that from a medical personnel. Yep.
So it's not even the way we are looking at it, though.
No,
like we're saying, it's emotional abuse. It's deeper.
No, it's deeper. That person that told me, she said sometimes when you look at people that don't have, especially those that don't have history of cancer in their family, it's not only by what they eat. Go and check their lifestyle too. Are they happy? Do you understand? If you're gonna see that majority of those people that are not happy, that have things going on in their life negatively, that those things are contributing to that and releasing those toxins in their bloodstream and causing them to be sick.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I mean, I know we all talk about communication. We always, I mean, even if you ask an 18-year-old boy anything about relationship, they will tell you communication is key. But it seems like we know the theory, but when it comes to the practical, it's not so easy.
No, now people will pass WIAC, and when you reach practical, they go to try viral. They say this one
because at the end of the day, this comes down to inability to communicate.
Yes, that's what it boils down to. That is what it boils down to. That's what it boils down to. And it's really sad because some people are not even making efforts to you understand what I'm saying? Because some people will say, oh, this man, he grew up without having a father figure. And why are you guys saying about this all the time? We've seen a lot of great men. Because they didn't have father figures, they have vowed to be better men to their wives and their children.
Of course,
so why can't that be the same in your own situation? I mean, someone to blame.
As adults, part of accountability, which we are really big on my platform, is the fact that you have to own whatever it is that you are doing. Own it to your full chest and take, responsibility for it. That's accountability as well. You can't say, if we are going to start blaming, I use affection all the time as an example. A lot of our parents were not affectionate.
No.
Their affection was hidden in their hearts. The way they showed up, they were affectionate towards us was that, seafood chop.
Have you eaten?
You've eaten. They pay your school fees.
You like this clothes?
Exactly.
You like this bottle?
They bought you Christmas clothes. That's that. But we knew that our parents loved us, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't express it, verbally by saying, "Oh, I love you," hugging, kissing, and all those kind of express affectionate behavior, right? But some people, like myself, have decided to train myself.
Yes.
So that I will not be like how my mother raised me. I want to raise my children differently. So we can't keep saying, "Oh, because this is how my parents were, I'm going to." Your parents went to the farm. Are you going to the farm?
No.
Your parents went to the market. Are you going to the market?
No. And your mother did not work, but you are working. Hello.
Somebody said, Chinyere said, it's a competition of who will break the silence. Competition.
Yes, and that's one thing I would like to preach all the time. He said nobody wins in this kind of fight. Nobody wins. At the end of the day, you both get hurt. Nobody wins. It's not a competition. But marriage doesn't turn to competition now.
Yeah, who will win in terms of who is going to break the ice first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but I mean, if you are tired of it, let's say the woman is tired and she wanted to just talk. But if the other person is not ready,
no, but that is the point. That is the point that I was trying to make Brother Ben see the other time. I said that is not the question. The question is, what if the other person is ready and the other person is not? How do you force the person? You break the coconut and put what you want to put inside the coconut and we gum it together again.
Because it takes two people to communicate, right?
Jesus Christ. Yes, it does.
So even if you are fed up and you are like, some people on the show the other day were saying that, oh, I gave them back. I think one of the young ladies I called from America was saying that.
She said she fed him back the same energy.
Yeah, I gave him back the same energy. And since then, he now know how I feel.
But it's
feels
not
and all that. But
that works for.
yes,
Some
absolutely.
people just go numb. They just go numb and become oblivious to everything that's going on around them. You can be there beside them like they don't even care. So what do you do to that?
Yeah.
How do you solve that kind of situation?
If the person is not ready to talk, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you keep malice for 2 years? That somebody like just said that their partner kept malice for 2 years.
That is the admin of the coconut.
Not be that. Come on now. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Not to.
Do you have people like that? Do you know that?
2 years.
Auntie B, have you ever met a coconut head person? Have you ever? I bet you have not. I bet you have not. Hey, if you meet a coconut head person, if you meet a coconut head person, Auntie B, they have them. Forget about it. I'm serious. No, some people are like that. So for some people, I realize that some people they have like past traumas that they've not addressed, and they're not willing to address it. So now, whatever is happening now, anytime anything happens now, that thing kicks in, and they try to like protect their territory, and they shut down, and it takes them forever to come out of it. So now they don't care how long it takes them. So if they come out of it, you do something tomorrow, they go back at it again.
Sissy said, silent treatment will work on me. I can be very unbothered. So the person doing it will change tactics. So it won't even bother you. I'm the complete opposite. It will bother me a lot. Like, it will bother me. I will not be able to function. Nah, I can't stand it. I just cannot.
I don't do malice, and I don't take it. I don't do malice. So for me, somebody that does malice is passing his message to me.
Because that's what there will just be bad energy in the house. That's what I believe. It's just going to be the air will be thick. You know, you just
you're walking on eggshells.
And then maybe everybody will be on their phone talking to other people outside, but not talking to each other.
Exactly. Like, so what's the essence of that?
So you're living in the same house, you're not talking to one another, but you're busy talking on the phone with your friends or other people.
Yes.
And let me tell you something, Nat, the worst part of it is not just the fact that you're not talking to your partner, it's the fact that other things comes with keeping malice or this so-called silent treatment that we're talking about, right? You cannot be keeping silent with someone. You're not communicating, you're not talking, you're not playing, and you're going to eat together, or you're going to cook, or you're going to have sex. It's not possible. It always goes together.
In most cases, like, the sex doesn't work. It doesn't take place. It's like people that use sex. One of my friends has said before, she said that, at night time doesn't keep malice, so he can do what he wants to do. In the morning, he continue with his malice. I'm like, how do you function?
Say it again.
At night time, there is no malice. You have his career. In the morning, the malice continue. I'm not joking. Real life situation. I told her, I say I don't know how she functions, because that ain't gonna be me.
But somebody said that the best way to resolve conflict within couples is once you have sex, you forget about the quarrel. How can you have sex and you continue to quarrel?
I don't use Kerewa to reconcile fight. I beg. Please.
You don't think it's a good way? Like,
for me, it's not, because it's just like you having a wound and you don't clean the wound and just put a band-aid on it.
Okay, no, it's not like you're gonna. Okay, the way I understand it is not like you are going to. It's not like you're not going to talk about the issue, right? You deal with it, but having Kerewa is like an opening. Okay, because it's not possible for you to be intimate with someone and then you still be angry. No, it's possible.
No, you have to finish the anger after that. You have to finish the anger and agree that we're on the same page, and then Kerewa can happen. Please.
Let me tell you something. When I was a long time ago, very, very long time ago, in another life, when I actually was in Kaduna, after secondary school. Yeah, somebody is asking, Cheesy is asking to join. Let me bring Cheesy on as well. It was a long time ago, and I dated somebody who always said that the best way to heal.
I don't think Cynthia has joined. No, this I don't think is active. She keeps saying she's here, but this page, can you see her on the screen?
Who? Cynthia.
Cynthia, yeah, that's another page. But I'm seeing 4 people on the screen.
4 people? No, it's only 2 of you. I'm just adding somebody else now, isn't it, Abby?
Yeah,
I don't know.
So I'm seeing me and the person you're adding, and there has been somebody, one white screen on the side.
White screen? Where? I can't see any white screen anywhere.
It's 4 boxes.
Okay. I don't even the person I'm adding is not adding. It's just the network is not going. Okay.
The network.
That's fine.
It's not networking.
It's not networking. It's not networking. So what I was saying is that somebody told me this a long time ago, that the best way to resolve issues is once you have Kerewa, you cannot carry on quarreling. So you can use that as an opening. Yeah. Once you now have the Kerewa, then you cannot talk, because your anger, whatever is in your mind, will just dissipate. Do you understand? Yeah, because intimacy will bring you together. Like, you're literally into each other. So how can you be angry with somebody that you're intimate with? So it will make the anger to just reduce, and then you cannot talk about it. But I see what you mean, that some people will not feel comfortable. They'll be like, yeah, if we are fighting, then no. So it comes with a lot, to be honest. It does come with a lot. Yeah, but I mean, the thing I wanted to take away from what Ola was saying in that show was brothers need to understand that you cannot be competing with women.
No.
You can't.
You're not going to win.
No, you can't compete with women and be saying, what about women? What about women? No. What about women? There's a hierarchy in these things.
Yeah.
And if we accept that there's a hierarchy, we are doing it the traditional way, not the Igbo way of me and you, we are the same, we are mates, and there's no edge. But if we want to do it the Christian way, where we agree that there's a leader,
yes,
and the man and the husband is the leader, then the leader needs
you
to
have
take
to lead.
you have to lead.
You have to take the lead. So men that cry like that all the time, right? Those are the men that are in between. They're trying to be traditional and westernized in some aspect. They want to remain traditional in some aspect. They want to remain westernized in some aspect. And then when they're not able to get the balance, they will now feel like the woman is muzzling them. If you give your woman an ounce for her to bring out her masculinity, then she doesn't need you. Your whole job as a man is for you to create a soft landing for her to flourish in her feminine energy. Man has feminine and masculine energy. Women have masculine and feminine energy. But the dominant energy for women is feminine. The dominant energy for men is masculine. So for you as a man, it's for you to create that soft landing for her. So if you don't give her that soft landing to exercise, to be able to flourish in her feminine energy, the masculine energy is going to show. And she's not going to need you. And now you're going to have a problem with her trying to dominate in some things. Bro, you didn't give me any choice. It's like you don't know how to swim and you fall inside a lake. You have to look for a way to survive. You don't say wait for someone to come and help you. So you look for a way to survive. So if you are the man, you're standing there looking at me, fighting for my life and how to come out and survive. You didn't come to help me. And I paid my way out and I came out and you're trying to show yourself. Well, you want me to just stay there and drown? No, you didn't want to come help.
Sissy is asking a really good question. She said, so what is the solution for those of you in relationships with malice keepers? What next?
Honestly speaking, if you're not married,
of going around in circles about this, right?
If you're not married and you realize that the person in your relationship is a malice keeper, exit. Because if you get married, it's going to be worse. And let me tell you why it's going to be worse. Because the other person will feel like you have nowhere to go. We're already married. That's the idea a lot of people have.
No,
we're already married, don't have anywhere to go.
Marriage is not prison.
If you're already in a relationship, you're not married, the best, if you know you can't take it, just exit. Let the other person be good. There's no argument. If you're already in marriage, you're now going to start looking for therapy and counseling. By the time the other person is not ready, you can go and leave the person.
I hear you. I hear you, Natsu, but maybe people should consider having that conversation about, what's your take about silent treatment as a discussion point during the period of courtship.
They can also put it in a way like, what's your take on conflict resolution between couples? Do you understand what I'm saying? So you can bring it up like that, and then you move from that and you move to silent treatment and hear what the other person's take.
Yeah. Because remember, we said that silent treatment or malice is learned. It's a learned behavior.
It is.
People learn it. Yeah. They learn it. So with everything that we learn, we can unlearn. But it's just having, 100%. Like you said, it's having the understanding and the humility, because it takes humility to unlearn things. And a lot of African men are always like, I'm like this, take me or leave me.
This is me.
Yeah, it takes humility for you to say no.
I've seen my friend that moved from going to medical school, doing housemanship, just for her to write medical exams, switch to being an IT consultant. Anybody can change anything. Don't play with me.
Exactly.
Anybody can change anything. So
it's the willingness that is not there.
Yes.
It's the willingness that is not there. Okay, what about this? You can have like agreements. I like that part. Piki was talking about having agreements before marriage. You can have an agreement that, okay, we are not going to, because like Ola said when he was talking about 5 things that you should know before you even marry. You will always have conflict. Is part of life. You and your children will have conflict. You and your parents have conflict. It's normal.
That's how you learn.
So you can have agreements about, okay, if we have conflict, we'll resolve it within 48 hours. We'll not allow it to escalate more than that. Anyhow, we'll resolve it.
Hours should be for people that will say, oh, I want to calm down first before I talk. Okay, you go and calm down, sleep over it. In the morning, we'll talk. You understand? For people that I can't go to sleep without in my mind. Oh yeah, let's trash it before we go to sleep. So you can have a standing agreement.
Can have an agreement, because with agreement, if both of you consent to that agreement, it's easier for you to uphold it.
Yes.
Even if it's not written, it's a verbal agreement that you say, okay, when we have this agreement, let's push it out. No matter how annoying, no matter how mad you are, we're not going to allow it to fester. We're not going to allow it. Keeping malice for 1 year? Are you mad?
Some people thrive on negative energy. You just have to understand. That's why I tell you, some people's background is very important. It is important. So people just thrive on negative energy, period. That's how some people are.
Not I couldn't survive it. I will not survive.
That's okay.
I will just die.
She asked a question. She said, "Can you learn to live with somebody with that behavior?" Yeah, the choice is yours. The
what
choice
did she
is
say?
yours. She said, "Can you learn to live with somebody with that behavior?"
I don't think it's right to live with that behavior.
It's not right, but some people can't. Some people can't, considering what is at
stake. But it has
consequences
if you live with it.
I know, but let me explain to you what I understand. So let's say you have kids together. You don't want to leave your kid with the person. The person don't want you to take the kid. So maybe, or the person works in a different state. So maybe when you start this thing, you just say, "Oh yeah, let's go back to where." There's a popular actress. I can't remember her name. She said the reason why her marriage survived 20 years is because anytime her husband lives in London, she lives in California. So every time she goes to visit her husband, once they start fighting, she's like, "It's time for me to leave." Oh yeah, and she leaves. When they are calm, they will be back together. Once they start going head to head, she leaves. So
there are challenges with that as well. Living apart.
It gives room for cheating. It gives room for cheating. You can't take that away because you're not talking to your partner, you're talking to someone else. It gives room for cheating 100%.
How can you have peace when when you're not talking?
Some people don't. Some people are not born with peace. They are born with wowless. They don't know what peace is.
They are wowless children. They are just lover children.
Wowless.
They're like that man. I don't want peace. I don't want peace. Who is that? Who is the person that was saying? Is it not portable? Abi who was saying it?
No, in the boss.
When I say I don't want peace.
I am no man of peace. I'm a man of war. I am in the boss keeper house.
Some people they are men and women of war.
I think there's a popular African saying that says that, when somebody doesn't have eyes, you will say, having eyes is a bad thing. Do you understand? Because you don't have it. If you've not lived or experienced peace, you don't even know what it means to live in peace. Or when they see parents showing their kids love, because they don't know what it means to be in a healthy relationship or experience love with your parent, they don't understand it. Oh, you're spoiling your children. No, it's called love. It's not spoiled. It's for love.
Joyous Living NG. I like what she said. She said, myself and my husband agreed during courtship that we would resolve our conflict before going to bed if it arises. It's worked during the courtship 100%, but guess what? After marriage, story changed. Hey, it changed. And what happened to the agreement? The agreement flew out of the window.
See, marriage is in phases, I beg.
He said that he started keeping malice at the slightest thing. He continued, and after a while, I started ignoring him, and he changed eventually.
Yeah, some people can't stand when you start ignoring them. They want to do it for you and see you in pain. The moment you start ignoring them, they now feel like you're doing okay. So they have to come back and look for a new strategy now. What can I do again? Those are the people that thrive in negative energy.
Yeah. What about if people are not comfortable in writing, because we are looking at solutions, right? What about writing? I mean, writing, it sounds so old-fashioned, but it was an effective way of communicating back in the day. When we were in secondary school, we used to write letters. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It works for some
people.
Write
it but letters. I will write and tell you my mind. This is how, this issue makes me feel. This is what you have done. This is why, this is my grievance.
This Gen Z and AR generation. You are writing ABC.
They don't know how to write.
No, they can write, but they read it differently. So you might write somebody with a different meaning, and the person might read it differently with another meaning. And that's why.
What about sending a voice note then?
Well, that's okay. That works.
Yeah. You can send your partner a voice note just to express, okay, this is
because you can hear the tone. You can hear the tone from how the person is giving it. But when the person is writing letter, it's a different energy, especially maybe something that vexes that person, can't read that. That's another trouble. Like, this is what she means. No, that's not what I meant. No, that's what you mean.
Yeah. I think the solution to it is learning skills. Useful everyday skills to resolve conflicts.
Yep.
How to resolve conflicts. Yep. Yes. And both people committing to it, because you can say these skills, though we're not going to shout at each other. Like, that's another thing I can't stand. I can't start shouting.
You didn't hear somebody that said that they want to do nothing after they enter theater and some blood, they just fainted.
Me, I hate shouting. If you shout at me, I don't like it at all. And some people, shouting will not even do anything to them.
It becomes a shouting competition. You shout.
Yes. That shouting. I don't like shouting at all.
That's really toxic.
No, I don't like shouting at all, because I feel like if you're shouting at me, you're not treating me like somebody that is your partner, that is a grown woman, an adult. You're dealing with me like a child. So for me, I find shouting very disrespectful and demeaning. I don't like it at all. I don't mind apologizing. If people are, we should be humble, like you said, give people grace.
Yeah.
If you are wrong, like, okay, we're talking about people who have coconut head. You know, unfortunately, some women have coconut head, some men do, but some women do. The example we're making earlier on when, you know, Braben was saying that some women, they will say it's my way or the highway. They're not moving. Like, we cannot agree on something. They're like, it's my way, it's gotta be my way.
You see this
Rigid people.
This is my waiting. Yesterday, my pastor was preaching about the Father's Day, and she was talking about some things that men can do. She like, if your wife is not a winch, there are some things that you do to her that will make her soften up. Even if you're having an argument and your partner is saying either the man or the woman, it has to be my way. You can cool down and leave the person. Is this what you want? Okay, no problem. Later, when the person is calm, you say, but you know that thing I did, I didn't like it. Do you understand? Because at that heat of the moment, you're trying to, the other person is not trying to hear you because their ears are blocked. They are already fixated on what they want to say and what they want. You can let the person have his way for that one and say, okay, is this what you want? Okay, we'll do it. Later, you can tell the person, I didn't like what you say. I didn't like what you do. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, how do we do it next time?
Oh my God, not to. I was at the dentist getting my teeth pulled out. When the dental student saw blood, she fainted.
Exactly.
And that is my blood for teeth. She said, they left me real quick to make sure she's okay. She became the patient.
Yes.
Oh, so Jesus.
You see all the theory that you know. When you enter, you now see something different. You have to practice.
That's a really good example. What do you call, is it practicals they call it?
Yeah.
Clinicals. Is the written test of whether you be a nurse or not, or doctor or not.
Yes.
Yeah. Conflict resolution is learning skills, useful skills. I think we still have to keep talking. I don't think that this topic is something that we can just exhaust.
No,
it's another ongoing thing that we need to talk about because a lot of people are in this table. Like you know, people were so
like it's okay. And they also feel like it's okay. That's the third part of it. And you know, like they say, our environment shapes us. If you're growing up and seeing that in your family, or if you grow up and see your dad beating your mom, you feel like beating your girlfriend or your wife, there's nothing wrong with it if she's not listening to you. Do you understand? So some people have that embedded in them, and they need the work to be done.
Kalama is still on with this her ex. So she said, there are levels to malice. My ex was a chronic malice keeper. You know, get competition. Even after I left, he's still keeping malice with me and our child. Now Jesus go resolve the matter. Even Jesus don't tire. You write him a letter. Just write him a letter and say, please. For the sake of he might read it.
And to be. Leave some coconut head people. You might know there was this letter for it. Right? If you want to talk to me, those are the ones I'm saying. If you want to talk to me, come and talk to me face to face. And then when you come, they'll still not allow you to talk. Not them. That's the WhatsApp group. Premium members. That's right.
So a man can keep malice for so long.
Yeah. I'm telling you, there are a lot of them. You don't see the stories on Dr. Shola's page. It's a lot. It is. That's some people's malice. Yeah. And like I said, it's just some people's upbringing. Some people thrive on it, honestly speaking. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right. So what I was going to say, why I actually wanted to talk about it tonight again, is because your relationship is going to break sooner or later. If you are engaging in silent treatments, it will. It's just a question of time.
Like I said,
it's just like
the other person passing a message to the other person. And for the period of time you're doing that, that resentment is growing.
It's building. It is building.
Yes. That idea that person have in their head, the conviction is growing stronger and stronger and stronger. You might come back early enough to redeem it, and some people might never make it. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Okwekolomo that said that after 2 years she got tired and left. Yeah. I mean, and you know, when people are going to leave, initially they're going to check out emotionally.
Yes.
They're not living physically. Then later on, they will their body will follow. But especially women usually check out emotionally, you know, from a relationship or a marriage that, you know, they feel is not serving them. They are not happy. Because there's no way you can keep malice with somebody and you're happy. It's not possible.
You can't be. There's no way now.
Yeah.
There is no way. It's not magic.
It has to do with level of maturity.
Definitely.
Malice has to do with level of maturity. So are we to say that people that keep malice are not matured? They are not mature. That's why they are keeping malice.
To some extent, yes. To some extent, yes. Because if you are and you have those skills, it's different. The way you're going to handle it is different. There's this book that Allah encourages us to read, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And in that book, it tells you different reactions people give to the same situation and the result that they get. Do you understand? Like our pastor used to make a joke of, he said, all these people that used to go to 3-week CNA school and think they are in the medical field, and somebody that has gone to medical school, has done 8 years, has done fellowship 4 years, you can't compete with the person because of the extent of knowledge that they have.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? So if the person is responding to a medical situation, his own is not going to be the same with the CNA person. That one is just 3 weeks school you done. That one is prelims. Is remedial that you did. You didn't even enter the school yet. So you don't have an idea of what it is. So it's not the same. So that maturity is there. The person will handle it different.
This Sissy said, you are right. Silent treatment leads to resentment in marriage, which ends in divorce at time. Yeah, it will. Especially in the abroad. I don't advise anybody to do it. So if you are listening to this and you have whether it's the ONG or HND or bachelor's degree or master's degree
or
or
PhD
PhD,
or extra certification,
whatever certification you have on this matter of silent treatment, you better stop it. You stop it. It's not healthy. It's not good for you.
no, it's not.
They say because somebody is telling us that it causes bad chemicals in the body that can lead to cancer.
Yes,
so
it
you see
does.
how dangerous this thing we're talking about is.
Yep.
Yeah, Sissy said it's not mature, very childish behavior because it's children that throw tantrums, right? It's like the opposite of tantrums.
Yeah.
When a child is
And
upset and they want something, they throw tantrum. Adults,
you know, even children that are more matured for their age, they don't throw tantrum. They tell you what they want.
exactly. An adult speaks up. You have to talk.
Exactly.
You have to talk. Just
Yeah.
talk. You can't say, "Oh, I've said it once. She didn't listen. I said it once. He didn't listen. I'm not saying it again. Let me just keep malice." You keep malice.
Do you know? So that's the part that gets me when people say that. So there's this guy that I know, he doesn't come to my church anymore. He was dating this girl. So I was asking one time, I was like, how far with Bay now? He said that, oh, he's just tired. He has said something to her. She's not listening to what he's saying. I'm like, that guy is not your child. So let's talk about the things that she has said to you that you're not listening to. You think you're a perfect person, or you don't think there are things that she's putting up with you that she's not complaining about. I said, sometimes we just need to cut ourselves some cloth of grace, small game of grace, and just give the person like, okay, let me because if you sit down and know what some people are putting up with you, for.
Anastasia, you're asking if I'm seeing your comment. I am there. I am. You said they don't develop well emotionally. That's people that keep malice didn't develop well emotionally. Yeah. I think it also it may also boils down to the fact that growing up, a lot of our parents did a lot of disservice to our brothers.
Yes.
Because they keep telling us about how boys are supposed to react. You know, women are allowed to express themselves, women are allowed to cry, women are allowed to do everything, but they keep telling men, you're a man. They'll be telling a 10-year-old boy, a 6-year-old boy, you're a man, you're supposed to behave like this. So I think for a lot of brothers, developing that aspect of themselves emotionally was kind of, our parents did not allow it to grow.
Yeah. I was telling somebody, I said my brother has a girlfriend. I said, I'm thinking of it. I want to enroll him for counseling or therapy. And the person was laughing. I said, it's not funny. I said, I don't want anybody to come out because I want him to know what to do as a man, aside providing for his family. There's much more to do.
Yeah.
There's much more to do.
Yeah. Ebuka said it creates a false pretense to your partner just because you avoid to express yourself. Yeah. Our parents, I think they did that. You're a man, you're not supposed to react this way. You're a man, you're not supposed to do this. You're a man, you're not supposed. They call boys men, which is something that I'm very, very careful not to do. I don't like it when boys are called men. They are boys.
If they are boys, let them be boys.
Allow them to be children. No, in Africa, they just exploit 5-year-old boy to be behaving like a 40-year-old man.
Yes.
They don't even allow them to be children. Have you seen that? I saw a video one time when the boy was crying. The father, it seems like a really good father. And, was saying, why are you crying? Why are you crying? The boy said, I want this. Say, why are you crying? Don't you know you're a man? You are a man. This child is not even up to 3 years old. I say, that's how I start. You're already telling him he's a man. He's not a man, he's a baby. Would you tell a 3-year-old girl who is crying and the same exact behavior? You're not going to tell the girl that you're a woman. You're a woman. Exactly. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't. Exactly. Yeah. You wouldn't do the same thing. So you see, I think the way boys and girls are raised in our culture is counterproductive as well. To why some of these men grow up, they cannot even communicate, they can't express themselves, especially when they are angry or when they are not satisfied with what is going on. Maybe their wives are behaving or their partners are behaving badly.
Yes.
They feel disrespected, because that's one thing that kept coming on. Not to, if you remember,
yes,
that's what kept coming on that discussion where Braben was saying that, although he did say that it's like you cannot agree. But I feel like when somebody is also saying that it's my way, because if you are together with someone, you can't always hold your ground and say, oh, it must be this way. What about compromise?
Yeah.
You can say, okay, let's meet halfway. But if you insist, it has to be my way. It's a level of disrespect to the man as well.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
So,
I agree. And also, like you said, it also flips on the other way around for the woman too. If you feel like because you're the man, everything has to be you and nothing has to be about the woman because you're the man. But also, another thing that we need to understand is that everybody has a dominant side. Like you have something that you do better than your wife, you have something that you do better than your husband. So it's the left for the both parties to look at what is the strength of the other person and let the other person do it and flourish.
Yeah, I was just talking about him.
Uncle Ben, no.
You're here distracting for where would they call your name?
If they sleep, we call his name, they wake up.
Okay, go ahead, Natsu.
Yeah, so like let's say if your wife is good with money, like you want to let her do some decisions about the money, blah blah blah. If your husband is one good with money, don't drag money with him. That's what he's good at. If your wife is good at doing this, like, you know what, that's what my wife is best at. Please don't call me. Go and meet your mommy. Let her handle it. That's her area. But if you want to say, oh, because of the man, I'll handle the money, I'll handle the decision, I'll handle what we buy, I'll handle what, even you said, you stress yourself. Like one of my former,
too much.
One of the why they don't want to say they don't worry you, they worry yourself. They don't worry you, they worry yourself.
Exactly.
And that's why God gave you a helpmate. You have to utilize it. It's like God giving you a car. So you want to go somewhere that is 30 minutes. Instead of you driving your car, you say, let me just walk for exercise. Or it's your middle name suffering. So that's what it is. God has given you something to utilize and enjoy. But you're like, oh, I don't want to. What sense does that make?
Yeah. I like the fact that you wanted to. You say you're going to enroll your brother in that school. A lot of our brothers they need that school.
I really will.
They need that school because, especially when it comes to how we always say communication. Communication is a word. The practice of it is not so easy.
Because I feel like my brother, it's not he doesn't communicate, but I feel like sometimes he just have mood swings out of nothing. I don't know if it's because he grew up with girls, but that is getting me. I'm like, don't come and bring somebody's daughter and suffer in this house.
Is he the only son?
Yeah, he's the only boy.
He's the only brother. Okay.
So, yeah,
I mean,
like, no.
I'm not even going to lie. I have some brothers that, if they were not my brothers, they are the only man in this world. I'd rather remain single than be with them. I swear. No, my brother. No. God forbid. I used to say to their wife, how do you cope? How do you cope?
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. No. They because they kept telling them when they were young that you just take care of your wife, provide.
Yeah,
that's
a provider and a protector. But you see that protector side, they don't really like explain it and break it down to them. You got to protect mentally, protect emotionally. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
so it's interesting that you mentioned that protection. When you ask the average Nigerian man what is his duty as a husband, he will say provide and protect. I'm like, armed robbers are coming to our house, or do we have kidnappers coming to our house in London? What are you protecting me from? So I think we need to digress when you mean protect. It's not just physical protection that we are talking about, like somebody's going to jump into the house and steal your stuff and all that. But we're also talking about protecting her sanity, her mind, her spirit.
Yes.
And to make sure, and you know, PK used to say something that a woman's mind, if men understood the way our minds work,
they know where they get problem.
Jesus. A woman's mind works 100 times faster than a man's.
Oh, yes.
And even when we are sleeping, our brain know they switch off.
It's
No. I saw it in PKs, and he said that scientifically they actually did a research that proved that even when women are sleeping, they are still thinking. Inside sleep, we are dreaming. We go back and go buy pepper. We don't buy tomato. We don't cook stew. We don't cook rice. Inside sleep, and we end up waking up. When it's mentioned that some of you wake up, I'm tired. I say, I put my hands up. I say, present, sir. I'm here.
That's right.
I wake up, I'm tired. Early morning, I'm tired. So our mind is constantly processing things, and that is the ability that we have to multitask, to do a lot of things. So we need that assurance, and for that, that's peace. That assurance and reassurance to be created. So when they say protection, it's not for you to go and hold what's it called, dagger, and stand in front of the road and say, anybody that comes for my woman, I'm going to do no.
ATB, or no, if she tells you she's going somewhere, just show up in that place. Or Mr. Insecurity, say, no, I don't want to make sure you're okay. No, sir, that's not what she's talking about.
Yeah.
When you give her a chance to flourish, she knows that you got the house for her. Like, you know what, go and do this. You help her to look for avenue to do stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you see your wife is like really, even like mentally, like, oh, yeah, come and take a break.
Yeah.
Like I used to talk about all the time, like how anytime I'm stressed, my mother tell me not to cook, to go and sleep. Anytime I'm stressed out, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm tired. He like, go and rest. Don't worry about food today. Like, that's a big deal for me. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
You can see that your energy is being sapped. You are tired. You can't do it. So that's a really good example. Daisy is saying protecting her goals and career too, not intimidated by her success as well. Yeah. That's a really good one as well.
Somebody says, well, now you they like school, you know they rest. Oh, we're traveling for work today. Every time these children have something where you can't go. Sir, you met me in this field before you married me.
Yeah. Protection is deep, and we need to break it down in relation to modern world, modern society. Not back in the days when we were, it was what do they call that kind of living, where you go to the farm and come back and you face all kinds of wild animals and everything. Chidinma say, thanks Natsu for breaking down the protective role of men, of husbands. Yeah, as husbands. Yeah, we should allow, if you are a mother or father, if you're a parent here, please allow your boys to be children. Just allow them to grow up normal.
Let them be children first.
Don't make them men too quickly. Okay? And this idea of saying a man is the one providing, you should provide. So a lot of Nigerian men feel that once I provide, what else? I don't need to do any other thing.
What do you need from me? You have a car, you have a house, you have food. What else do you need? That's what they tell you. What else do you need?
Yeah.
I have house girl for you. What else do you need?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. So we have work to do.
Somebody said, is it Chinyere who said it? Is it Chinyere that said that? No, somebody is saying that competing with your wife in the crying department, and your wife will be like, what did they worry? Which one be crying department? Which one be crying department again? No. No, men we should allow men to be vulnerable. That's what it means. It's not even crying alone.
So I said it before, and Ola said, be careful what you ask for. I'm like, I really want to have him. I want my man to be vulnerable with me.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Some men do cry to express themselves, some don't. But if anything happens to him and that's the way he releases himself, you want to, and they don't cry all the time. Do you understand? They don't cry all. So it's not like
some
you
never.
Cry, your wife is crying.
Some never.
Yeah. Some never. Some don't. And that's the outburst that some people have when they do outburst. They go in their malice zone for 200 years.
Brother Patrick said, be there for each other in both high and low times. Shala is here. Shala, hey. She said, women have working brains even in sleep. And Bingbe said, my own mind doesn't sleep when I'm sleeping. It's crazy. And I thought I was the only one that this happens to. Wait till you have children. It will even be worse.
WhatsApp group.
By the time you have children, it will be worse. If anything make like this, nothing can happen. I'm constantly alert. In fact, I don't think it's healthy. Anything, I don't hear.
You're like, what's that? Are you okay?
So that's why I used to say, you don't sleep. Don't you sleep? I'm sleeping. But I will hear it. I don't know why, but I hear it. I will hear it, oh. I hear it. May God help us. Yeah, so allow men to be vulnerable. It's not about crying. Yeah. It's funny that people think that when we talk about vulnerability, it's only crying.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
And moreover, what is wrong with a man crying? Why did God give them tear ducts? According to Sissy, why did they have those tear ducts? God would have only given women the tears to cry. But you know the funny thing, men cry within.
Yes.
They cry within.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. So we have to allow them to cry out as well. Let them cry if they want to cry. Like that will make them.
Just like we want men also to create that safe space for us, we also want to create that safe space for them. Do you understand? Like, you feel like when he has something, he can always like talk to you about it. And he can offer solution. If you don't have solution, just tell him it's okay to like. But when somebody voices out, he's vulnerable with you, and then whenever anything happens, and you want to bring the thing out and splash it on the person's face, just because at their lowest moment they entrusted you with some privileged information, now you feel like it's your own time to use it against them. You're not creating safe space for the person. This applies to both sides. So as much as we want, we have to be available to give too.
Yeah, that's well done. I think you need to go back to work. You sound tired.
No,
Chinyere said, I like a man to be vulnerable. Okay. Chinyere said, I like a man to be vulnerable with me as well. I was only saying that while we allow our sons to express their emotions, we need to also allow them know when they need to get hold of themselves. So they shouldn't be crying per minute per second. Oh my God. How are we going to measure it now? They shouldn't overdo it. Not everything you'll be crying. Oh my God. Mingbe said, I cannot stand emotionally immature men, but then I love men that are vulnerable and express themselves.
I do.
A lot of women say they like men that are vulnerable, but you don't want a man to cry.
Like we said at the vulnerability is not all about crying. So you're not crying all the time. And honestly speaking, the reason why it's not healthy for what we're encouraging this, some men, when they bottle up too much, that's where this malice thing comes from.
Exactly. If you allow him to cry, I will not keep malice. Better allow the brother to cry so that you will not serve you malice of 2 years. Shola said crying releases stress and emotional pain. You see, it releases the stress and emotional pain. And she's a nurse, so she knows what she's saying. So you better listen. Allow them to cry if they want to cry. Give them tissue. That's what you do at work. When you have a patient that's crying, you hand them the tissue. Give them tissue. Because everybody feels better. Like me, I cry when I'm drained emotionally.
Yeah,
I'll just cry.
me too.
Yeah,
That's
when you
what I
cry,
believe.
you always feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not, even for a woman, it's not good to cry too much because it becomes something else. It's a symptom of something else. When you are crying, regularly, then you
True.
need to start checking. Are you feeling depressed? Is there something else going on with you emotionally and all that? Yeah. But I think we have to keep constantly having this conversation about, silent treatments. We need to look for tools
Yes.
whereby we can, equip
Create
people to
more
communicate.
awareness.
Yeah.
Set time.
Yeah, if we're going to talk about it again, I'd like to talk about practical things that people can do to communicate in terms of examples. It's always good to give examples. Conflict resolution tactics. What can you do when you have a heated argument where you cannot agree on something and everybody is saying, la, 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 babu. This one say, no way.
And DP say,
What can you do?
Babu.
Babu.
Like I said earlier, in some cases, you just want to let the person, if it's not a major something, you probably want to just let the person like slide with that. And after that, you want to have a conversation with the person on when everything has died down. If people are in a better place, you're like, okay, I didn't like that. That was not how I wanted. This is the reason why I said this. I don't know if you see
Yeah.
that way. If the person has a softer coconut head, it might soften a little bit. Like, okay, I understand what you're saying. Next time, the person might act better. But you see those people in that coconut WhatsApp group and TV.
Mm. Me, I always tell women, choose your battles.
Yep.
Some women, it's everything they want to fight about.
Everything.
Everything.
And also some men too.
Everything.
Also some
And
men
some
too. Like
men,
it's
especially
everything. Yeah.
women. Women tend to be more petty. That's the truth. Everything you are picking on, everything. You can't let anything go. You must analyze it, discuss it before you know it will escalate into disagreements.
Yeah.
Learn to
Pick your
choose your
battle.
battles. Yeah, pick your battles. It's not everything. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just let it go. Hmm? Don't sweat. It's not everything that you say. You did. No, just let those ones go. Then, when you want to now bring a case, even your partner will know. All right,
This
this
one,
one
don't
I've
touch
done something.
this one. So we need to talk about it.
You go know. It's not everything. It's not everything that you just quarter, complain, nag, and that nagging, men can start nagging.
No, they
Even the Bible says that it's better to be on the rooftop than to be in the house with a man that nag. Choose your
Mhm.
battles. Yeah.
Yep.
Just overlook some things. If it's small and it's not life altering, then leave it. Just leave it. It comes down to patience, though. Ba?
Yes.
This
Yes.
patience, everybody
Yeah.
will go learn now. You go
Patience
learn
is a
by
virtue.
force.
I'm
Yeah, you have
telling
to
you.
learn it.
You
Mm.
have to. You have to. And sometimes people do this patience, it doesn't apply to just marriage alone. It applies to like your relationship with other people. Do you understand? Like platonic relationships, like family members, relationship at work.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of that. It applies to all of it. Like sometimes you just have to, like Ola will always say, tell me more.
Yeah, because
Where's
even
the
this marriage that we're talking about, it in context of relationship and marriages. But people keep malice with their friends. They keep
Yes.
malice with their family members,
Oh,
their parents,
yeah.
their
Oh,
siblings.
yeah. Oh, yes. I know a lot of them.
Yeah,
I know a lot of them.
absolutely. So the only difference is that if you don't live in the same household with someone, okay, then it might not impact on you negatively to that extent.
Yes, but if you live in the same house, it's
But
different.
when you live in the same house, like recently, I fell out with a friend of mine, and we've been friends for such a long time,
Oh my goodness.
And it was quite a big disagreement of which we didn't talk, okay. And I just felt like, she was not respecting my boundaries and, something that you say over and over and over again. And the person keeps disrespecting your boundaries. And I said,
Always
you know what?
friends.
Yes. So, when just uncool for a long time, but it didn't affect me that much because we don't live in the same house. We don't even live in the same
We don't
country.
speak.
Do you understand? But when you live in the same house, then the dynamics are different. This is the person you see every day. You just see the person and carry face. Good morning.
That's all.
Not that kind of good morning that you are saying as if they're beating you to say it's a good morning.
Like they're holding you. Like, oh, good morning.
No, not a good morning. Grudgingly, I'm going to say good morning.
Yep.
Oh, my days. Yeah, Brad Patrick say, Auntie B, you said it all. Just chill, even though your partner is wrong. Yeah, it takes a level of patience and maturity to get to that level. To be honest, I can't say that I've always been like this because my body they hot seriously before. Jesus, hey, my body they hot.
Apple does not far from the tree.
Hey.
See, that's me. But honestly, therapy and counseling has helped me.
But with life,
We learn,
my dear. You
especially
live, you learn.
especially when you're intentional about it.
Mm,
Especially when
mm,
you're intentional about
yeah.
it.
Yes. Bamidele is asking a very big grammatic English question here. How are you going to answer this one now, Bamidele? How can Africans lack consistency? reciprocity or reciprocal transparency. All this plenty grammar, communication, honesty, and ask appropriate questions. I don't know. You want to ask this question? Well, Ola is here. Ola is the scholar.
Allah is our scholar.
Ola is the professor. You ask this question, no? But I think what you're trying to say is that lack consistency in what area? What do you mean consistency in what area? Transparency. It sounds vague. I'm not sure what you mean because it's a lot of words. We need context. Yeah.
I don't know, but let me try and see if I can break it down. So I think what he's trying to ask is that as we're talking about like the African culture and the number he has done on men, like how people always ask for stuff, respect and the other things, but they're not able to give that other person that relevance or that sense of feeling like among like that. Okay, let's say this person is your wife. You don't want to treat the person like your wife. You don't treat the person like your partner, but you're crying for respect from that same person. Do you understand?
Yeah.
You can't communicate, but now you're not saying that the person is not communicating with you. Oh, my wife is not saying anything. She didn't say that to me, but you're not communicating to her. People just see what's outside, they don't see what's inside. Do you understand? When people start talking about what's going on behind the doors, like you're not able to be able to believe it. But that's what it is. Like a lot of our people say, oh, women need to do this, women need to do that. But the men have the seed. The man is the seed. Do you understand? The woman is the soil. So you pick where you want to plant your seed. If you go and pick a woman that if you go to sandy soil, the one in the beach, I want to go and plant corn there, your corn will not grow. Because corn not grow for sandy soil.
That's
so like men have to understand that there's seed. So if you're the seed, you have to pick the right soil. That's all I would say.
Now, I mean, it sounds like what you just said now. A preacher can preach a whole sermon on it. Choose your soil very carefully, uncles and brothers. Choose your soil very carefully. It is well with us.
But some of them, if the soil looks, they're like, this beach soil is very nice. I think I can plant my corn here. Let me be the first to try it.
No, they're not looking at the soil. They are looking at other things. It's not the soil they are looking at. They are not looking at the soil. It's other things they are looking at. Yeah, it is well. We'll keep learning. Yeah. That's it. We'll keep having these conversations and learning.
Yep.
Well, thank you, my darling.
All right, Mama. Adios.
All right. Take
care.
Desi.
I see my girl in the chat. Desi, I see Desi, Chidima, Sisi,
yeah.
Chinye, all my people.
Yes. So yeah. We have a live stream tomorrow. Anyway, on YouTube. YouTube is our main place where we don't have a lot of we hardly do live here, but I didn't feel like we did try to do justice to it, but there's just so much to dig in, and I'm still going to talk about it. That's how I am. Until I get closure and I feel like people have enough information, we'll keep talking about it. Yeah, we have to. So when we're looking at it again, we'll be looking at examples of tools that people can use, skills that you can use when there is conflict. What can you do? Yeah, because I don't stream here, that's why. That's why Patrick said there's low traffic in Instagram. Yeah, if it's YouTube now, we'll have 500 people. But yeah, we don't even have 100. But it's okay. We'll be doing it small. Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow on YouTube. We have a very, very interesting topic that we're going to talk about tomorrow. We have to keep having these conversations. They're very, very important because the world that we live in now, we need to learn and unlearn. Some of us have some skills that we need to relearn new skills, and some things that we thought were what we need is actually not what we need. So it's an ongoing thing. Yeah, it's important to have the conversation. We'll keep having this conversation. Chidima, you were making was it you that was making but no to sweat in all our show? Conflict resolution skills, especially with coconut head. Yes. How do you resolve conflict with a coconut head? I didn't know I was gonna go on live, Juice. I didn't know. It's just something that is impromptu. Yeah, helpful skills to resolve conflicts. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Maybe next time I'll put a notice so that more people can join. We'll see how it goes. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Bra Patrick, have a nice afternoon. I will see you guys tomorrow night on YouTube. I love you guys. Bye.